Hey everyone, this is Alex with a rapid-fire style review for Battletoads. In 1991, Rare came out with the original, incredibly difficult beat-em-up platformer that had kids all over the world lying at recess about who beat Battletoads. Now, I was definitely one of those kids who beat Battletoads after my parents bought me a Game Genie at a swap meet, so I guess I'm not part of the cool kids club. The Battletoads franchise spawned several sequels, a pretty bad animated TV show. There was a crossover with Double Dragon, there were hundreds of prank phone calls on YouTube, and now in 2020, we have a reboot.
Oh no! It's the mega famous Battletoads, including Zitz, the leader, Pimple, the strong one, and Rash, the sunglasses one. Don't forget Best Kisser!
The gameplay for Battletoads starts out fairly basic. You've got normal attacks, smashes, charge attacks, evades, and some bubblegum spitting allow for a bog-standard beat-em-up adventure. Some enemies require smashes to break through their shields, some shoot projectiles, some just exist to take whatever punishment the Toads have to dole out. It's pretty average stuff. Though the game doesn't give you very long to dwell on how average the beat-em-up experience is, because before long we're just whisked away to the next level type. The bikes. The long-time fan favorite has been updated, and there were certainly our favorite levels of the game despite our huge death count.
Some Toad.
He said, fuck the free world.
Fuck the free world. What?
Bullshit! I clipped it! What? No! See? No!
I'm gonna back up because if I
You got
start...
this, Alex, because...
Oh shit, Joe. All the pressure's on us now.
I need to tuck in my elbows. Elbows in. Come on, Zitz.
You can't last.
I can last. Who told you that?
It was super funny.
Oh, you did it.
God damn it! I can't stop laughing. Oh, we're gonna be...
Hey, here
Chad,
we
we gonna be here. God damn you, Joe.
Here we go.
Don't say that.
I hype myself up too much. Here we go, boys.
Joe, Joe, man.
Here we go. Wild and crazy.
Fun and crazy.
Let's
guy.
do this.
God damn it, Joe. You just stop saying let's do this. It leads to somebody dying immediately.
Nothing can go wrong, OJ!
What? No, come on, give me that. That was like the corner.
Oh, there it is.
Is it? Jesus.
Let's do this.
Ugh.
Hey,
As Joe
here
would
we
say.
go. What happened was it's pretty fucking slippery on the sides.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, everyone, almost in. I'm following Alex. I got you out.
Stop talking. You know what?
Here we go, boys. Let's do this, boys.
Oh, I was like, how did I not die?
All right, for realsies, let's do this, boys.
I knew it.
We did it!
Toads,
We're
I
the
made
best.
my sons delete their post.
Oh, God.
The truth is,
It was tough, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, the rest of the first half of the game is much of the same. Solid beat-em-up gameplay, there's some puzzles put in the levels, there's a mini-game or two, and a few boss fights that may not be the most inventive things we've played, but it was still fun. The second half of the game, though, is where they decided to change the formula. It becomes less of the Battletoads that we know and turns it into a collection of minigames, stretched into full levels.
What do? Shoot?
Take
What?
pictures.
It's a completely different... What? What? Wow.
In addition to the side-scrolling combat, bike levels, and platforming we know and love, we get minecart carnage-style levels. You get odd QTE segments out of nowhere. You get bullet hell levels in space, and keep talking and know and explode-style puzzles. These sections were neat, but ultimately reminded us of better games that they borrowed from or inspired by, and these just weren't as polished. It's not that any of these other types of levels were bad. In fact, some of them were at least a little bit clever and enjoyable at the start. The issue we had is they weren't quick segments. They weren't sprinkled throughout. They were incredibly bloated. They were unnecessarily lengthened, and just when we thought that they were over, they had us do whatever we were doing several more times.
There better not be 5. There better not be 5. There cannot be 5. Fuck this game.
Perhaps if we had gone back and forth between them quickly from one type to another, we would have been more engaged and interested. But instead, we sat on each game type for an excruciatingly long time, far longer than the levels warranted, and any benefit from the variety was gone. The second half of the game also felt disjointed from everything we had done in the past 2 hours. Sure, there were toad faces on the screen, but nothing about what we were doing now felt like the same game from 20 minutes ago, or the game from 30 years ago. Battletoads has always had some variety in level types, so it's not completely out of the norm, but this was to a completely new level. The overall art style was updated in today's cartoon standards. It looks a bit like Teen Titans Go or the new DuckTales reboot. It's that style of animation, and it's certainly not my favorite, but it's fine. The cutscenes are fully animated and fully voice acted, which was really refreshing.
I think we lost the cops. Everyone okay?
Everyone except them.
It's a ratings-approved bloodbath.
And the voice acting quality is actually really good. It doesn't have the phoned-in feel like many other games that you'll find at this price point. We had some issue with the art of the level design and some of the enemy design. For what's ultimately a series of plain rectangles that you're fighting in, the levels feel really busy and cluttered during combat. Some of the enemies are actually 3 smaller characters stacked on top of each other in wildly colored outfits, and they're carrying a hammer, and then there's 6 of them on the screen, and then there's 4 enemy types in various stages of attacking, blocking, stunned, or charging, and there's also 3 toads that are morphing into sharks and arcade cabinets and jackhammering, and so fighting in this game often looks like a cluttered acid trip. I mean, look at this image. There's only 5 enemies on it. And then later on, you can get 2 plain rectangles to fight on and even more enemies, and this happens. The soundtrack for the game was actually really good, and for a game that was only $20 and 4 hours long, they put a lot of work into it. And so it was definitely a bright spot for us, having the diversity. Though the writing is where I feel most people are going to lose or gain a few points in the overall score. The devs really focus on story and humor here, and there's oddly a huge amount of cutscenes, almost an hour, and it's a lot for a beat-em-up game. Most of the game's humor didn't really resonate with us. There were a few laughs to be sure, but it certainly felt like we're not the intended audience for their writing, which was a shame. We definitely saw what they were going for and what they were inspired by. But too often it came off as cringy or repetitive or just obnoxious when they were going for quirky. The danger of using beloved sources as inspirations for content is you'll be compared to it, and most often that original content is just better and your new stuff doesn't hold up, and that's what we feel like happened here. Ultimately, Battletoads 2020 was an okay time. For a game of this length and this price, it feels pretty average. We got that hit of nostalgia, and most of the gameplay felt good and was worth playing most of the time we were playing it, but it felt like they made a 2-hour-long game, and Rare told them to stretch everything out to the 4-hour mark. Some of the story and some of the humor was good some of the time, but I really didn't want to sit through all 55 minutes of those cutscenes. This is a game where the IP is doing most of the heavy lifting. Without the Battletoads name on it, it would probably be largely ignored and quickly forgotten, but at least it's free on Game Pass. I'll give Battletoads a 5 out of 10. Well, that's going to be it for this rapid fire review. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know in the comments if you beat the original Battletoads. We'll see you next time on The Angry Joe Show.